Got it? Are we ready? All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here this morning. My name is Meredith Denary. I'm the PIO for the City of Myrtle Beach. Again, we just want to welcome you and thank you for coming. This definitely helps us out this week. This week is super slammed. I'm sure it is with you all as well. So really quick, here at the City of Myrtle Beach, we do say first in service, and CCMF is one of the premier events where we showcase to residents and of course the visitors, the 40,000 people that will be coming to CCMF, what that really means. From Memorial Day to CCMF, it is truly all hands on deck, especially when it comes to our police, fire, public works, and parks, recreation, and sports tourism members. We could not have this event if it were not for them. Not only our police and fire departments keep us all safe, but our public works and PRST members are keeping this place clean and operational so it can be ready for you all the next day. Last year alone, our crews hauled 89.8 tons of trash, and I am happy to say we do have a recycling initiative this year. Ryan Murphy and Al Nord will speak more on that in a little bit. And almost as soon as CCMF is over, we look over reports and see what went well, what we can tweak for the next year. This is a full year of planning and coordination with all of our partners, from the setup to policing and even where to put our solid waste haulers. It is truly a team effort, and I can't believe we're already here for the 9th year. I also want to say thank you to our public safety partners, Horry County SLED and the FBI, and we also could not do this without them or our healthcare partners, Tidelands Health. And Dana and Ashley will give you more information on that in just a moment. So I'll go ahead and introduce the people behind me. I have Chris Starling with Myrtle Beach PD on the far left, Al Nord, who's with the Children's Burn Fund, and Ryan Murphy as well with the Children's Burn Fund and Myrtle Beach Fire Department. I have Ashley Capps here with Tidelands Health, John Evans with the Fire Department, Travis Glattke, Emergency Management, Dana O'Brien, Emergency Management, and Troy Marin with our Parks, Recreation, Sports, Tourism, and our Special Events Coordinator. So Troy is going to kick us off.
Hello. PRST is involved in CCMF start to finish. We accept the application and then navigate through the approval process, and then when the event happens, we are picking up the garbage, making sure the place is clean every morning. I just want to kind of let people know, if you're coming and you see guys in the orange shirts like this, or green shirts again this year, please give them some room to be able to kind of get the garbage out of the way so we don't have it on the ground, we have it hauled off. That being said, PRST is on site 24 hours a day, starting at 8 a.m. on Thursday until 4 p.m. Monday after the event. We have 15 to 20 people per shift, and we are here the entire time. So if you have something or need something, we're here all the time. Other than that, I don't really have too much because we're just picking up garbage. Thank you. Travis Glattke.
Thanks, Troy. Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Travis Glattke. I'm the emergency manager for the City of Myrtle Beach. Carolina Country Music Fest truly is a year-long planning process. And no matter how much we plan and prepare for, weather is one of our primary concerns. In the month of June, the City of Myrtle Beach is susceptible to pop-up thunderstorms, and by that I mean these are the types of storms that give us little advance warning. So in order to help mitigate any sort of potential impacts that these storms may bring us, the Emergency Management Division has implemented a plan where we'll be in constant communication with the National Weather Service. This includes 2 daily updates throughout the event, and we'll also be notified of any significant weather changes that may occur. We'll also be in contact with our local meteorologists who will give us guidance and provide us any types of information that they may have, and we'll compare that with between a collaboration, a team effort, city staff, event promoters, National Weather Service, and our local meteorologists. For emergency evacuations, it truly is a team effort. Everyone has a say, from city staff to event promoters, local meteorologists, and the National Weather Service. And through that collaboration, we'll make any sort of determination regarding an emergency evacuation. If necessary, and the weather evacuation is needed, city staff and event staff will direct attendees through emergency exit points that have been designated. and they are to seek safe shelter. And when I say safe shelter, when you say that term, it means that no place outside should be considered safe, especially when talking about lightning. Safe shelter should be inside a building or inside a vehicle. We'll also be having a public announcement from the event staff, and then our City of Myrtle Beach's social media accounts and our city's mass notification system, MB Alerts, will also notify attendees as well as the community as a whole. We received guidance from the National Weather Service concerning outdoor concert events, and they've provided us 3 benchmarks when it comes to lightning. The first is a 15-mile benchmark. This just means that our staff will be elevated in terms of weather monitoring. Then when the storm is 12 miles out, we'll assign staff and resources to stage in specific designated points in the case that we need to do any sort of evacuation. And then at the 8-mile point, we'll actually begin the evacuation process, where we'll be directing patrons to those safe shelters for them to seek somewhere away from the outdoor elements and the potential impacts. For a reminder, when it comes to safe shelter, please stay away from tall objects such as trees and light poles, metal fencing, and then any standing pools of water. This includes swimming pools and oceans. For safety, if there is a weather evacuation, please ensure that you evacuate in a safe and orderly fashion. We'll give you plenty of notice ahead of time in the event that this needs to occur, but also prior to the event, have a reunification plan put in place. Ensure that prior to the event, you and your family members or you and your friends have a designated location at one of those safe shelter places where you can make sure that no one's lost and no one's injured, so that when the re-entry process begins again, we can do it in a safe and orderly fashion, and you can be with the people that you came with. One more point. We received this morning's weather update. For Thursday, it looks like there is a potential 30 to 50% chance of rain for Thursday. There is also a potential for a thunderstorm. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it looks like the potential for rain and thunderstorms is significantly less. But please remember that weather's constantly changing, and these changes may come suddenly. So we'll keep you updated, but please monitor on your own. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dana O'Brien with the Emergency Management Division here for the city. And as Meredith touched on, this is a year-long planning process, and obviously it takes a lot of moving parts. So the Emergency Management Division works with all of those parts, our internal city departments and all of the staff and resources that the city commits to this event. We start that, again, as soon as this event ends, we will start to evaluate and start the planning process, and we've done that year after year. So it takes a lot of planning and communication with all of those parts, and our outside agencies, our assisting law enforcement agencies, Tidelands Health, Horry County Fire, all of those resources that we have to also rely on to ensure the safety and integrity of this event. That's right here in the city's front yard. So we work really closely with all of those agencies and the event promoters to ensure that we're all communicating, essentially that we're all operating on the same sheet of music, and it's a pretty big sheet of music, but it is the mission of emergency management to ensure that we do that year after year and make sure that we have a safe and integrity-filled event for our community and the patrons. Next after me is Captain John Evans with the Fire Department.
Thank you, Dana.
Hello.
Another microphone. Thank you. Appreciate that.
We might want to put it on this side.
That works. All right. Oh, well, look at that. All right. Good morning. My name is Captain Jonathan Evans with the Myrtle Beach Fire Department. Happy to be here with you this morning. Also happy to say I've been part of this event since its inception many years back as working EMS crews and whatnot. We're excited for this year. We're prepared. We'll have EMS and fire crews on site for the duration of the event, so if anything happens here inside these gates, we'll be ready and prepared, and then we'll also have the cavalry right outside just in case anything does kick off. On that, we do have medical tents inside, first aid tents, so if anybody has any issues whatsoever, our crews will be in the red polo shirts with the EMS bags, so if you can't find them at the first aid tent, they may be around roving as well. But we'll have multiple teams working each day and each night, as well as a fire crew on site just in case. Anytime we have an issue, we'll take them to our Thailand's tent, which our cohorts there will come up and tell you about that in just a second. But the last couple of years, we've had great success with helping most everybody on site here without having to do too many transports. Obviously, some things happen. We can't do everything on site. We have to get them to the hospital, but that effort has been coordinated very well the last few years, and hopefully won't have too many major issues again this year. So, but we're working with them. The best thing I could say is stay hydrated. Make sure if you do take medications that you bring those with them, or you take them before you come, because if you come out here in the sun and something happens, we may not have what you need. So make sure you take with you what you need. There's not a protective bubble around this place, so make sure that you're prepared, and we'll be there to help if we can with what we can do. In the case of emergency, like they said, we do have those emergency exits that are available. We'll have those opened up to help people get out quicker than possible. But otherwise, we're planning and hoping for a very nice and safe event. So on that, I will pass it over to our police department, Mr. Starling.
Thanks. How's everyone doing? I'm Corporal Starling with Myrtle Beach Police Department. A bunch of things we're going to go over right now. Just the main thing with us, the police department, you're going to see tons of us out there. We'll be in our yellow polos, as we are every year for this. We have a great time. We also encourage everybody to be well prepared ahead of time. As you can see, this team behind me here, there's a lot that goes into this to make sure it's a success every year. For the first part of it, basically road closures, we have posted them online. You're going to see that pretty much on all of our social media sites, whether it's the city government, police department, fire department. That will be there, but keep in mind there's going to be closures at 8th Avenue North, 9th Avenue North, Ocean Boulevard, and a couple other side access roads. Be patient. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to flag one of us down. The main thing is Kings Highway is open for foot traffic, but also the boardwalk is. So if you guys are on the boardwalk, bike, pedestrian, just make sure that you're using caution and use that as another access point to get where you have to between 7th and Mr. Joe White. We are also encouraging people to plan ahead. We do have rideshare set up. It's actually going to be across the street here, right over at 500 9th Avenue North. Cars will be exiting pretty much outside of Kings Highway here. We access everybody to go in through Broadway Street, come straight in there, come down towards the boulevard, pick up their ride, and they're going to exit right out onto Kings Highway here. The main thing we want everybody to have is keep understanding that we're not going to be parking and picking anybody up on Kings Highway or any other access road. We encourage that for the safety of our residents and our visitors. We just want to make sure everybody's safe getting where they have to go. Also make sure you're using sidewalks and crosswalks to get where you have to go. The last thing we need is somebody getting hit with a vehicle. We want to make sure everybody's being safe in the whole process. There will also be a parking shuttle. Parking pass holders can park their vehicles at the old Myrtle Beach Mall site, which is going to be 2400 North Oak Street. There will be a shuttle going that actually drops you off right down here within 50 yards of the within the concert. There will be shuttles operating every 30 minutes until the gates close. So just use patience, plan ahead. When you're out here, the general safety tips we're pretty much discussing is make sure you're staying hydrated, which is what the fire department has already discussed. That's a major thing we do see. Make sure you're staying water in you, no matter if you think you're thirsty or not. Just have water with you and make sure you're safe. Have a meeting point with friends and family discussed ahead of time, so if something does go bad, you do have somewhere to meet them, or if you do have somebody that gets lost, you know that you're meeting, hey, we're going to meet at the corner at 9th Avenue North and Kings Highway. That way you guys know where you're going to be. In addition to that, there'll be additional traffic in the area, so like we always say, pack your patience. Understand it might take a little bit longer to get somewhere where you have to go, but you're going to get there. You're here to have a good time. It's a 4-day concert. We encourage everybody to have a good time, but just make sure you're planning ahead. With that being said, also understand that we understand people here, they're going to have drinks, they're going to have a good time. Make sure you're planning to have a ride to get home safely. Use the ride share, use taxis, whatever it is to make sure that you're getting home safely. If you don't feel good, let an officer know, let a firefighter know. We're here to help you guys, and we want to make sure everybody's safe on that end. Also with the concert, they're asking anybody to leave their weapons. Obviously we're not having them come into the event. If you do choose and you forget, if you're going to go put them in your car and lock something up, make sure it's out of plain view so we don't have anybody having any of their cars broken into. Make sure it's a safe way to put it and lock it safely. And also just make sure that you're abiding by all the rules here. We encourage everybody to have a great time. If there's questions, we're here for you. We're in our bright yellow polos, so if you can't find one of us, it's probably a problem. We will be right to you. But really thank you everybody for being here today. We can turn over to the next person. Valerie.
Thank you. Hey everyone, thank you. I'm Ashley Capps. I'm the Vice President of Operations and Chief Nursing Officer for Tidelands Health. And we are proud to be the official healthcare provider for CCMF for the second year in a row. We will be serving participants and attendees, vendors, in the medical tent alongside the first responders, emergency response, EMD. Over the 4-day period, we'll have approximately 72 team members caring for you all. That will include doctors, advanced practitioners, nurses, registration staff. We'll have all of the first aid supplies and equipment needed for the primary things that we see at CCMF, which typically are dehydration, exhaustion, slips, sprains, trips, things like that, blisters, bruises. So we're proud to be there for all of your healthcare needs during the time, and we'll partner with the first responders for any higher level of care needs that you'll need. Also, please pay attention to, as you've heard, a lot of the general concerns, just the need for hydration. It's very warm. You'll need extra water, sunscreen, eye protection, comfortable shoes. I know we all want to look cute for CCMF, but we do get a lot of foot injuries, so it's something to keep in mind, proper footwear. Again, we're happy to be a partner for CCMF for 5 years now. This is our second year serving, and we look forward to taking care of you and hope everyone has a wonderful festival. Thanks. I think I'm turning it over to Ryan.
Good morning. I'm Ryan Murphy, Master Firefighter, Myrtle Beach Fire Department, and with me is retired Lieutenant Al Nord. This year we're starting an initiative for recycling at CCMF. As we all know, recycling is a big issue just because there's a large volume of aluminum cans at the event, and there's never been a dedicated way to try to collect these cans. So both of us work with the South Carolina Burn Children's Fund, which is a partnership between South Carolina firefighters and MUSC Children's Hospital. And the fund every year puts on a pediatric burn camp. It's called Camp Can Do, and it's hosted free of charge to burn children in the state of South Carolina. And we've used aluminum can recycling as our primary fundraiser for many years now. So we're really excited to partner with CCMF and bring 2 of our trailers into the grounds here. So it gives the attendees a dedicated way and place to recycle their cans and trying to clean up the grounds at the same time. We're not just asking the attendees to recycle their cans because it's good for the environment. We're now asking them to recycle their cans because it's going to help put a smile on a burn child's face. So we have 2 trailers. They're going to be red. They're going to be labeled. They'll be easy to see, and they're simple to use. You just come over and you throw your can into them, and every $500 that we're able to raise is enough money to send 1 child to Camp Can Do. That's all I got, unless anybody has any questions for me.
You want to come up? Go ahead.
Thanks, Ryan. My name is Al Nord. I retired from the fire department here in Myrtle Beach in 2019. It's really good to see all the different departments come together and pull off events such as this. It does my heart good to see my kids grow up, as I like to say. I'm the longest serving member of Camp Can Do, which is a South Carolina burn children's camp sponsored by the South Carolina Burn Children's Fund. Firefighters from all across the state of South Carolina collect aluminum cans. We take them to recycle, we raise money, and that's how we put on our burn children's camp. But what we also do is we support the needs of burn injured children, be it handicap ramps, air conditioning for their homes, special burn garments, whatever they need, we take care of. We put their families up if they have to go to a burn center to see their kids. So being able to get in here and recycle these aluminum cans is just, it's just great. Myrtle Beach is such a big factor in the state of South Carolina. I've got little departments in the upstate that raise almost $20,000 a year by collecting aluminum cans. I'd like to see Myrtle Beach kind of outdo some of those guys. But this is great potential. It's a really good thing. We're recycling cans, we're saving the environment, and we get to support the Burn Children's Fund, that looks after our burn kids here in South Carolina. So all the attendees, please look for those big red trailers. They'll be well marked. Throw your cans in there. Help us raise a little bit of money and send some kids to camp. Thank you.
All right, everybody, outside of the public safety components that we talked about, 2 things we do really want to stress are that cyclists and people who are walking do have that option. We don't want them to come up here and getting in that Kings Highway traffic. We do want them to take the boardwalk between 7th and 9th Avenues North. That's something super important to stress. And also our rideshare location this year. If you all could please help us really get that out. We're already working with Uber and Waze and other rideshare partners, but for them to use 9th Avenue, come in on Broadway Street, exit using that southbound lane onto Kings highway. We just really need your help to stress that this year and for the safety of everybody. And with that, do we have any more questions? Yes.
If something happens, let's say Saturday night, who should be our point of contact for the city of Myrtle Beach?
That will be me.
Okay.
Yes.
All weekend?
Yes. Go ahead and contact me if you have any questions, and I'll be able to filter them to my partners behind me. And another thing I do want to note, this is specifically for media, we are going to have a media meet point outside the train depot this year. You're going to be able to look for a blue tent, and if we're doing interviews, we'll have a podium and speakers set up similar to what we do now. So if you guys need any interviews during the event, that's probably where we're going to ask you to meet us. It gets you away from all this traffic and all of the road closures here, and it's a safe spot to be. Okay? Any more questions?
How many acres is the site? How large is the site?
Oh, I don't know that off the top of my head. Anyone know how big this site is, Troy? I want to say 18 for some reason.
I do not know but I can find out.
Yeah, we can find that out for you if you leave your card.
How many people will be here on any given day? How many tickets or admissions?
How many people will be here any given day?
30,000?
We run with about 30,000. It differs. It starts, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have the Thursday night kickoff. Usually that's not as big of attendance as the following days. And it has gotten bigger each year.
Does everybody who come have a 3-day pass, or does somebody individual take?
Those are more CCMF questions in the city. We don't regulate the passes or anything like that. I would look online too.
How is police presence going to compare this weekend to Memorial Day weekend?
Thank you. Just like with every other busy weekend, we're going to have additional police officers. It's pretty much all hands on deck, regardless of what we do, especially throughout the summer and any busy time we kind of have. We do have our partners with the Horry County Police Department, SLED. They're here helping us just like we do every weekend. So we're just here whatever we can do. And if we see a need for more in a certain area, we're going to put everybody we can to help out with making sure everybody's safe.
Is this the first year we've had the recycled cans out here on scene for the burn center?
Yes. And Emmeline, back to your question, I do kind of want to add in, I mean, when we talk about a festival, of course, we still have families and people coming in to attend. You know, policing a festival in a concentrated area is different than a ginormous weekend when we have a ton of people coming in all throughout the city of Myrtle Beach. So those are two totally different, tactics from the city. Yeah.
Do you guys make many arrests during the festival, or is it pretty well behaved crowds?
I would say they're very well behaved, but that's a Chris question again.
We just encourage everybody. Obviously, we know everybody's out here to have a good time. We just want to make sure everybody understands that still laws are going to be enforced. We encourage everybody to make sure they're looking out for their friends. If they do see something, let us know. It's a big thing we always have is see something, say something. Public safety is everybody's responsibility out here, so we want to make sure that everybody is keeping an eye out for everybody else. But we will address it accordingly if it needs to be.
Any more questions?
How many EMS stations?
How many EMS?
So we have 3 first aid tents set up, but there'll also be roving crews at nighttime because obviously it's busier at night. So we'll have that available. We also have a UTV during the daytime that'll help us get around, but obviously once it gets past a certain point, usually about 6 o'clock, we retired that unless we just absolutely needed to get from one side to the other. We have dedicated paths. But we work together as a group along with the police department to mitigate those issues as they come up. Obviously, any help from the crowd is helpful because it's tough getting through 30,000 people to get them to the EMS tent and then possibly even to get them out to a hospital if they need to. So, but yeah, we usually have 4 to 5 in the morning and then 6 or 7 at night, part of roving crews, and again, those ones that are at the tent.
Does Parks and Rec go by and pick up the cans that aren't in the tent? Are they helping?
Unfortunately, once they hit the ground, they're mixed with garbage, and we really don't have the time to separate. We've got about 4 hours to get everything off the ground before we have to come back around. So,
Can you start over?
yes, I will start over. Yes. Unfortunately, we just don't have the time to separate everything. Once it goes on the ground, it is mixed with garbage, everything else that goes on the ground. And what we use is a Barber litter picker, and it picks everything up and throws it into a bin, and we just don't have the ability to separate that, at least not yet. Maybe in the future, but right now we just don't have the time. Again, we've got about 4 hours to go from midnight to looking like it did Thursday morning before anybody came in.
And that's why we're getting it out now, and we need your all's help so that everyone that comes here knows about that recycling initiative and all the good things that it'll go towards to put your can in the well-marked trailers that the burn unit will have. There you go. All right, anything else? Any other questions? All right. Going once, twice. There we go. Thank you, guys.
So how many city blocks would it be? That would kind of give me the other side.
I can give you an exact. Can you give me your card, and I can shoot you an email of the exact size.
Okay. Could you send me a text and stuff? Because I'm going to be out over there.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. Thank you. Got it.
Okay, enough
have the double.
There you go.
I don't think we met in person.
There you go.